Hey guys, Scott here. I have a dying rat on my head. So I want to talk about what I think is the Blight's best build. I've been playing him a bunch. I played him a bunch on the PTB as well. And these perks seem to make the most sense on him. Luckily, I got these exact perks on my first Prestige, so I have a lot of experience with using them on this killer now. And I want to go over why I think this is such a good build and might be his best. But, you know, it's still early. Maybe there's some other hidden things I'm not really aware of yet. So let's go with the basic new meta, which I think is going to be in a lot of killers, which is Hex Rune and Hex Undying. So a lot of you know what Hex Rune does. If you're not aware, what it does basically, gens automatically regress if you're not working on them as long as the totem is up, and they regress at twice the normal speed, which is really, really good. I think the new rune, the current version of rune, is actually stronger than the old rune, which used to be you needed to hit great skill checks, otherwise you regressed a bit. And the reason people don't think this is because for that to be true, it needs to stay up for a while. It's kind of more of like a mid to late game perk. But the problem is totems go away pretty fast. So even a couple of seconds of the original rune was better than, you know, a minute of the new rune. However, with Hex Undying, we can ensure that the new rune lasts for a pretty long time. So what Undying does is it basically is another hex, but it highlights when people are near totems. And so you can see them beginning to dismantle totems. It's almost like Thrill of the Hunt, but better. It requires less maintenance too. So you get free aura reading that lasts a significant amount of time if they're near a totem. And if they break a hex totem that is not Hex Undying, that hex jumps to a different dull totem. So there are 5 totems on the map. If you run this build, you'll have 2 hex totems. If they break Rune first, the Rune will jump to another totem. And now you've got 2 more chances to use Rune, basically. So it keeps Rune up for a while. In the worst case scenario, Undying is broken first, but you still have Rune up, which is the whole point. You're trying to protect Rune. That's really the entire point of Undying, plus a couple of free aura reads that actually end up being very useful sometimes, because a lot of the time, totems are like basically embedded in tiles. So when people run tiles, they unknowingly actually run by a totem, and you can see them for like a pretty long time, 5 seconds during a chase, which is super useful. So Hex Undying and Hex Rune are going to be 2 perks that are commonly used on killers with mobility now. In fact, I think probably half the killers in the game are now going to benefit more from this combo than like Corrupt and Popped. So I think that is going to be a new meta. But on Blight specifically, it is so good because he can see someone working on a totem even across the map and get there in 10 seconds before it's even broken. And it's really, really, really strong with that. The next perk is Tinkerer, which I was not a huge fan of, and I'm still not a huge fan of, but it makes too much sense on this killer. And plus, they just recently buffed it. So what Tinkerer does, it used to be at 85%, but now when a gen gets to 70% completion, it highlights the gen, it makes one of the explosion sounds, and you can see where the gen is, and your tear radius just shuts off. So you can imagine on a killer with immense mobility how useful that is, because if you can see a gen like appear to be, you know, exploding across the map, then you can beeline directly towards it, and you will not have a tear radius. The worst case scenario is you get them off the gen and Rune starts triggering on it. The best case scenario is you get a free hit because they don't even hear you coming. And that's really, really useful. It's his mobility combined with the fact that Rune and Undying are so good. He is so good at getting people off of generators repeatedly that the Rune Undying combo is just so good on him. This is one of the few examples of a perk actually being amazing for the killer that it comes with. And Tinkerer basically combines with that because Tinkerer lets you know when you need to get people off these generators. So whenever you want, you can basically just repeatedly get Ruin to do what it does best by getting people off gens when they're starting to near completion. And the best part is, in combination with Ruin, once it regresses past 70%, it goes below 70% again, you can use Tinkerer again. As soon as someone gets back on the gen, it'll light up again and you have no tear radius again. So you get these chains of not having a tear radius for like a long time, and you always know which gens are being worked on. And it's just so much map knowledge and pressure. He's so good at getting people off gens, and that is why these 3 perks work so well together. Last perk's Barbecue and Chili. I'm addicted to this perk. It's double blood points. How can you not? However, it still has a functional purpose other than more blood points on this killer. Because now you can see people in the distance with Tinker if they're going to be repairing a gen, so you can know to go there. Now, if you hook people and you don't have, you know, like that slam aura reading add-on that lets you see everybody within 16 meters, so you can see, you know, everybody that's near you. Tinkerer can let you know people that are on gens. Barbecue and Chili lets you know people that are maybe not on gens but far away. And the thing is, with his movement, he can get to that person's aura like 5 seconds after the aura is faded. They don't even have time to juke it, basically. It's almost like Billy. He can just beeline directly to wherever they are and just start a chase like that. So This killer is extremely good at starting chases extremely fast. I noticed most of the games that I've been playing with him, I would be in a chase, like the map would load and I would be in a chase within 15 seconds almost every game. And that's so important with a killer. Being able to start that snowballing that fast is just so good. And barbecue and chili helps fill in those gaps where there's not a gen at 70 and there's not necessarily people nearby. It fills in that gap of knowledge, not knowing where to initiate another chase. And I think that just seals the deal. Because his whole thing is he is always in a chase. He just can always be where he needs to be. And now he doesn't necessarily have the strongest chase power in the world. I mean, like, you know, a spirit and even like a huntress is probably going to outclass him in a chase. But the point is he can get to that chase immediately. And once he kicks a pallet, he can use his power to just close the gap immediately. He is like the gap closing king. He is the counter to holding W, which I love. That's one of my favorite things about him. He severely counters just holding W because he can catch right back up immediately. So I think this is probably going to be his best build. There are a couple of other options. Like you can substitute in something else for Tinkerer, probably like a Discordance or like, you know, a Surveillance or something like that. I just think Tinker, it's new, it's buffed. I mean, the perk itself is not new, but the new version of it is new. And that's just the perk that I happen to get on the Blood Web, and I've just been loving this build. I can't really think of anything that I would change. There are other perks that are great, like Infectious Fright and stuff like that, because he does have a normal Terroritus. But his snowballing isn't exactly amazing. It's not like Oni, where he can kill the entire team in 20 seconds. He's supposed to hit them twice and stuff like that. So I think this is overall going to be one of his strongest builds. I've already seen a lot of other streamers using this. So I think we're going to see this a lot. There are a couple of other changes you can make, but the core concept is basically just getting people off gens and then punishing them when they get off gens because of Rune and knowing which gens to go to and knowing how to always be in a chase. So that is the goal of the build. I think it works really well. I've been having very good success with it, and hopefully you guys will as well. But thank you guys for watching. Nope. See, I'm remembering earlier and earlier now. We're doing this. I'm getting better. Here, boom, done. Clickety clack. Boomity bat bomb, bam, got it, done. Dakota, Farabee, Jeff, Silver, and Sky Blue. You guys are dumb. Thank you very much. All right, see you guys next time.